GuMiho. Soon. Classic. herO. Round of 16. Group D.
Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2023 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. PvP time. Let's see what this matchup looks like in the GSL. We've got Classic versus herO. I would say it's, I think, pretty clear to everybody. herO is the favorite here, but don't count Classic out. He could take this.
Yeah, PvP is one of those simpler, more mind-gaming matchups where it's not a surprise sometimes if an underdog is able to come through with a win. So really, this one can go 50-50 either way. Actually, before this GSL season, I've been regularly playing and streaming StarCraft 2 for a number of weeks, a number of months now. But I tried qualifying for GSL just for fun. I had no qualms about. You
told me you were going to win the whole thing. He's lying.
I'm going to beat these codesters and actually qualify.
These scrubs. It's time to show him who's boss.
But I played in the qualifier, and my first opponent was Classic.
Oh yeah.
And for people that don't know, back when I used to be a StarCraft 2 pro gamer, I played in Pro League, and I was out for one game in total, and I got proxy gated by Classic, and I got instantly destroyed. And so when I played in the GSL qualifier, and I looked at the bracket, and it's just Classic, and I'm like, it's been 6 or 7 years, and I'm getting flashbacks to a humiliating moment on stage where foreign fans are hiding me up and stuff like this, always the foreign hope, and I just get proxy gated into oblivion. And then Classic 2Os like me, I look so bad. GSL, their Patreon, they put out the replay pack, and I get people asking on my Twitch, are you happy with the way you played? It's God! It's I'm having one of those dreams, I'm in my underwear in class
and now
or
he's
something.
Going to play a really complicated game that you can't understand. He's going to mess up your casting, too. It's just, no matter what you do, this guy's taking you down.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, though. Both these guys are so good. I also, on stream, played herO a couple of days ago, and he's
really?
He's hi, State, it's me, it's herO. And I'm oh, man, it's good to see you. And then he just absolutely obliterates me with 2 adepts at an Oracle. Oh, man.
That's so funny.
Anyway, PvP coming up, guys. Classic versus herO. Which one of these players is going to advance to the winner match to face GuMiho?
Twisted Minds Classic. DKZ Gaming, herO.
Should be a really fun series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Every once in a while, it's just due to the way the groups are set up, and who survives, who doesn't. Sometimes we just hardly have a matchup at all. From France.
Welcome. Somebody asking for a mod. Portsmouth, UK.
Portsmouth.
I hope I pronounced that correctly.
I think it's Portsmouth. You don't know how to say it. Welcome, guys. So good to have you guys, all of you here in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we forgot to mention this at the start of the show. So just a reminder, guys, you need to get tickets if you're going to come down to the studio.
That's right. I think they go on sale.
Did we have the graphic up for the start of the show? I feel like we didn't. I think we just went right into it.
Maybe we didn't. It might have been a lower third that we just missed.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's not expensive, but you have to buy them online, or you can buy them on your phone when you get here, but just so you know.
Yeah, I think we don't have quite a full house today because it is just a round of 16, but round of 8, tickets start to sell a little bit more, and I believe they go on sale tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think around the same time that GSL would normally go live if it was a broadcasting day, so try and get them on your phone. If you can't, you can still come down to the studio when the games are starting. Bring out your phone. We have some staff that can help you get that situated and find you a seat if it's not sold out. Always going to have foreign fans.
StarCraft. Oh, yeah. So, look, in PvP, we have to wait for the cybernetics core to finish before we could even begin to try to understand what they're going to do. In this build, we have Classic going for double Stalker, whereas herO is going to go for the Stalker Sentry variation. Obviously, 2 Stalkers are stronger than a Stalker and a Sentry, but the Sentry allows you to scout with the Hallucinated Phoenix.
Yeah, so my big read from that is that herO is going to be going for a fast expansion for Classic as well. This could be something like a Stargate into a Nexus, and Yeah, he throws on the Stargate right away. It's like, I know, he beat me in the GSL qualifiers with this build. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how herO was going to respond to this one. It shouldn't be very committed. And actually, no, he's not going for an expand. He shows the sentry to his opponent. And Classic is probably thinking the same thing that a lot of Protoss players watching this at home are thinking, that the sentry, it signals that you're going for a Nexus. But in fact, it's a herO in the main base, so already the mind game's coming out here in game 1.
Yeah, very cool to see. And
I love this too. herO with the second Stalker coming out. It's a nice Classic the Scout of the natural expansion. So Classic doesn't know if there's a Nexus or not yet either.
So this is going to come down to whether or not Classic can stop what herO's about to spring on him. Because right now one guy's going for a Nexus, the other's not. The other's investing in momentum to crush somebody going for a Nexus. But yeah, this has been very, very well hidden here so far by herO.
Yeah, the Adepts, once they shade into the natural, will finally give Classic the information he needs. That he is playing against a 3-gate Robo build. But up until now, he's been in the dark, and going for a Stargate and a Nexus, it can be quite difficult to actually get something done defensively against this setup. You see the Warp Prism already coming out. Classic knows that he's under pressure. He immediately starts a Void Ray out of that Stargate. And herO, with that Hallucination Scout coming out of the Sentry, he's already building Stalkers in his main base to deflect any Oracle that comes into the main. So Classic, the pressure is on right now. herO has more Stalkers. He has a force field, so Classic cannot retreat up the ramp. The battery is not done. And look at this micro. That low HP Stalker getting microed all the way to the back. Yeah. Huge win there for herO, and I think this warp in comes through.
I think this is going to be really difficult right now for Classic to stop. He has a Pylon and a Warp Prism here. There is a Void Ray that's out.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost at the threshold we can just one-shot these Stalkers, and even the Void Ray going to get 3-shot here. Fantastic micro with the Warp Prism. GG is called, and herO with some sick mind games in game number 1.
Yeah, that was really impressive. The game was stopped before it could even really go anywhere. But look, he hit it very well.
Yeah, that was so smart.
He behaved in a way that I think it sold a different looking game. So Classic was caught off guard. And, I mean, talk about an unstoppable attack. We had a Pylon Warp in, and we had the Warp Prism at a safe spot. And, you know, the Void Prism shows up, and it's just not a good unit to have in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a killer build.
For some reason, in my mind, when I saw the Robo, I was like, oh, maybe he makes it immortal and then brings it with this, but that's an even faster rush that he gets off there. It's punishing because it hits like right as the Nexus is about to finish, so you've spent the 400 minerals, you've gotten nothing of value out of it yet.
It's possible he could have planned on making it immortal too, but he scouted that Stargate, remember, with the Hallucinated Phoenix, so he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna put the pedal to the metal, go with 3-gate Stalker Warp-ins, migrate them in the Warp Prism. It's basically like they have Blink, and that was a clean game number 1 from herO. Let's see if he keeps up the mind games. Heading into game number 2, winner of this series is going to be going up against GuMiho in the winner's match. Loser will fall to face Sue in the loser's match.
Twisted Minds Classic. DKZ Gaming herO.
So this is already a very different game. Both players go for a Pylon on, I want to call it the low ground because it's lower than where the main is, but it is like, there's a ground lower than that, if that makes sense. From Australia to see Protoss.
PS High Tasteless.
Hi back. Well, you came on the right day because we have, wait for it, 2 Protosses in this group.
In GSL, that is a wealth of Protosses.
Yeah, anywhere you look in this match, you will not see a Terran or a Zerg, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I was bringing up the Pylon on the low ground is like, it is a little bit of a different build, but they're both reacting to the shape of the map and the fact that like you can basically set up a wall at your natural and it's safer than if you were to do it on a map where the terrain outside of your natural base is on the same elevation as the terrain in the natural.
Yeah, with a high ground expansion like this one on Site Delta, if you play it perfectly as the defender, you should be able to hold every single push that comes through. I think globally, the only Protoss that actually goes for a 1-gate expand, even if it's on the low ground, a proper low ground with no high ground advantage, is MaxPax. And if he's able to pull that off with Void Rays on a low ground expansion, then certainly players of this caliber are mostly capable of holding it here on the high ground. So both players going for a 13 scout. Of course, the pylon blocks come in. Zealots made. I'm expecting on both sides to be able to clean this up and eventually take that expansion. And both players also going for a Stargate.
Yeah, I really like that pylon block there. Looks like it's going to be taken care of right when herO can finally get that Nexus up. He has the, well, he has the minerals. He's going to go ahead and put that down. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for that Nexus over here for Classic. Is it possible we could have some kind of a block there?
The Zealot out, it's a little bit difficult for herO, but with nice probe control, are we going to see that? He's making a second Stalker before the Nexus. I'm surprised by this move. I think he just wants to play the mind game.
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, let's see. He could have made a Nexus a while back. He's not. Is there some kind of trick he's doing here? Yeah.
Huh.
It looks like what he wants to do is at least keep that ambiguity, and he was, as we see now, going to make a Nexus no matter what, but he cranked out a couple more units, so maybe there's some opportunities where he can put a little bit of pressure on, or some kind of tactic will present itself here.
Well, certainly going for the Phoenix before the Nexus means that he's going to have a lot more valuable production time on that Stargate, and going up against the Oracle of herO is this Adeptus isn't going to barely survive 3 HP. One probe zap will take it out. God,
now
so funny.
The only thing the Phoenix can do is pick him up and try to slam him into the ground.
Oh, look at this on the other side of the map. Actually, herO coming out with Stalkers and that Oracle not going for probe kills. I love this adaptation. He knows that the Phoenixes are out on the map, so really economic damage is kind of off the table for herO, but with that Oracle, he's able to chase down a Stalker. And actually, are we going to have a Phoenix versus Phoenix game here? It's starting to look like it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So Phoenix versus Phoenix, like once you start it, it's really hard to ever back out of it.
Yeah, second Stargate. Even in scouting range from Classic.
Now, it's important when you're in Phoenix versus Phoenix that you don't want to be the guy that gets a little bit too greedy with your own Phoenixes, and then maybe you lose some of them. Because once you're behind in a Phoenix versus Phoenix arms race, it's almost impossible to recover. Third bases can be taken more quickly in Phoenix versus Phoenix as well, because there's not a lot of ways to contest it unless you kill the probe that's on the way to make the Nexus.
Now, I'm a little bit confused from what we're seeing from Classic. Okay, so he didn't actually click on the Stargate that was building in herO's Natural. He wasn't sure what the tech was. He was building a robo for a pretty significant amount of time in his main base, and was also continuously building Phoenixes. So a bit of a mystery coming out of Classic is, you know, he glimpsed the Stargate, did not have the time to click on it, and of course there's always some ambiguity when you have a structure like this warping in. Is it a gateway? Right. Is it a Stargate? What tech is actually coming through?
What size of the building, what size of the warp in is it? Okay, so he's going to come in here. Now, when you lose Phoenix versus Phoenix fights, a lot of times you get chased to the actual corner of the map. In this case, it didn't seem like he was confident enough to try to go through with the whole thing. He might not have had the right number.
Oh, no.
This is going to go undetected, so Classic going to receive a big hiccup in his income right now.
Yeah, this is starting to look really good for herO. Not only is herO ahead in the Phoenix count overall, but with that stasis trap, he is ahead in economy. He has his second Stargate out faster, so actually a 2 Phoenix lead. That is quite substantial here for herO, and he's feeling confident enough in his position to start probing across the map.
Okay, big catch there, takes the Oracle out. We're going to see the pylon blocks. Actually, that's so smart. That didn't occur to me. You can actually do this in Phoenix versus Phoenix. This is really cool. Because, yeah, the Phoenixes can't do anything to the pylon. So if you're able to just, like, block out all their third bases with pylons, there's a real issue there.
Yeah, and also, herO, keep in mind, he has more Phoenixes, so it's not like Classic can try to find some way to come back and combat these Stalkers and Phoenixes outside his third. Really a smart play from herO, but the one thing Classic does have going for him, highlighted by the observers now, is Phoenix range a lot faster for the blue Protoss. So that's really going to be The one advantage that he's going to have here against herO moving forward, herO, he has the higher Phoenix count, he has the faster third base, he has 2 Stalkers out already that are able to really take map control against herO, and herO actually going for a 3rd Stargate. So no Fleet Beacon for herO just yet, just really kind of all-inning on the Phoenix count. This is an interesting play, and I love this maneuver from Classic going cross-map. He knows he has to make something happen being as far behind as he is with a Phoenix count. So he's trying to catch the reinforcements coming in from herO. Fortunately, not able to intercept enough of them, but range is done now. Let's see if we can find some value. Already picking off a good number of Phoenix. The Phoenix count, it has equalized.
It has. He's going to try to come in once more. The moving shots going down. And is it in fact Classic with the higher number here? With herO being on this side of the map, you would think he would have assumed that he had the upper hand, but this is going to be a lot of damage. The fact that these Phoenixes can basically chip away at the fleeing Phoenixes. How does herO respond from here? Does he just abandon Mass Phoenix or double down?
I don't think you can abandon it at this point. He's completely invested, but and that's one of the reasons why it was such a surprise. He never went for Phoenix range, he just went for that triple Stargate, and so Classic, despite being down multiple Phoenix, now has almost double the Phoenix count of his opponent. And yes, herO does have that third base set up, but range is not coming for herO anytime soon. Classic is getting so much value right now.
He does dive in and has enough range. He could chip away at that. Keep in mind, it's 3 Phoenixes coming out versus 2. So there's a world where herO can even this number out and actually pedal ahead. So the idea is that Classic is trying to abuse the range as much as possible. And so it's just like this back and forth where herO's going to dive in or fake dive in and then run back. But, I mean, there are no more Phoenixes out. You can basically perch above these Stargates and just kill anything that comes out. It's just going to turn into fatal damage here.
I think it basically has to. We see herO scaling to put down a Forge right now, but he really can't make Phoenixes, and yeah, he knows it. He cancels all of them, but that means that the probe count is going to get decimated here. I feel like this was basically a checkmate move coming out of Classic, and it is such a surprise that herO just did not go for a Fleet Beacon at all, because usually it's 2 Stargate into Phoenix range, and there's some window where one player is going to have maybe a 15, a 30-second advantage where they can try and eke out some value with range, but instead herO just never went for it. Classic able to ride that into a victory, so kind of a rare misstep from herO in the build. It felt like he had every single advantage. He had the map control, he was denying the third base, he had the Phoenix lead, and then just going for a 3rd Stargate instead of Fleet Beacon just feels like, I mean, if this was a chess.com game, it would be like, that's an inaccuracy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great game from Classic. I agree with you, State. I feel like, honestly, the play, the setup there from herO looked better. Getting the pylon blocks on the third base. I think the idea is he gets 3 Stargates and basically wins the fight over the third, but Classic already had other plans, and when the range finished, he was able to obliterate so many Phoenixes that were retreating back home. Then from there, it's basically checkmate. You're right. You sit above the Stargates, kill anything that comes out. Once you get that round of kills on the Phoenixes, you then go pick up all the probes, go back to the Stargates, kill another round, back to the probes, and eventually it's game over. So we're going to go to game number 3 now. And remember, guys, the winner of this is going to go up against GuMiho, the loser against Sue. Should be a very exciting night of games here. And speaking of which, looks like our game is loading up. So let's get into it. Classic versus herO, PvP. Game 3 starts now.
Twisted Minds Classic. DKZ Gaming herO.
So in game number 1, herO came up with a really creative and clever build, going Sentry Stalker opening, showing the Sentry to his opponent's scouting probe, and then denying the scout with a really fast second stalker out of the gateways. And that led into a 3-gate robo attack that Classic was not at all prepared to defend with his Stargate opening. And I'm wondering now, this is another low ground expansion map, it's a lot harder to secure that Nexus as a result. Are we going to see some more mind games coming out of herO? And if so, what kind of mind game is it going to be? Because I was really impressed with the preparation that he kind of showed there in game number 1, that trick with his Sentry Stalker opening and the hallucinated Phoenix Scout to decide, you know, exactly what kind of aggression he should bring to the table was something that we don't see very often in PvP, but was a very big brain play. And, you know, both these players, they came into this knowing that PvP was going to be the first match of this group, and so what else have they prepared coming into this series? Because coming into this one, I mean, you really don't want to be falling into the losers match and having 2 more series to play to get a shot of advancing into the round of 8. So a lot on the line for both herO and Classic. Is Classic once again going to go for a Stargate, potentially expansion? Is herO once again going to try and go for some kind of cheeky all-in play? I really want to see how this one's going to play out.
So we've got double Stalker here for herO, and it's double Adept for Classic. So Classic with the double Adept is going to have more of the initiative on the map. It'll be herO having to react.
I love herO just going for the kamikaze probe there to try to kill that one. Classic had walled off his ramp with a shield battery, so there was no escape for that probe. And it's going to be double Adept into double Sentry expand here for Classic.
So there's going to be no way Classic can't scout what herO's going to do. And I think the idea is like, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I think Classic thinks he can basically win if he can get through mid-game, but he needs to make sure he can figure out anything that might be going on. Oh, that's funny. You know, wow. I said he was going to get in there no matter what, but I didn't mean with the probe. I was thinking, you know, hallucinated Phoenixes.
Yeah, I'm surprised herO did not throw down a shield battery to prevent that probe from coming in. So Classic, he is probably going to bleed out one of these Adepts and maybe get some hull damage on the second one, but he's going for this expansion, and he got as early as a scout as you could possibly hope for against the same build he was up against in game number 1. It's going to be a 3-gate robo once again coming through here for herO. And this build, even if you do scout it, it is very hard to stop, especially if you commit to holding the low ground expansion, which it looks like Classic is going to do. So we'll see what happens here. Classic, he did go for 3 sentries behind this. And sentries, although they are a very good unit in defending, the Warp Prism Micro can really negate the efficiency of force fields on the defensive front. So it's not the best investment for him. And actually coming out of herO, this is not going to be the same flavor of a 3-gate robo coming in as previously. We have a Robo Bay in production, so it's going to be disruptors.
Yeah, this is interesting. Now, I don't know if it's because he was scouted, where you then got to go, you know, to the next weird iteration of what you could try to do there. Let's see if this is actually spotted.
I think he glimpsed it.
I think so, yeah. Oh, man. Warp Prism spotted. He has to back up.
I'm kind of liking this defensive setup for Classic now. You know, the build that herO is going for doesn't quite have as much of a punch as a 3-gate Stalker play would. And yeah, the Hallucinating Phoenix absolutely saw everything there. So herO's going to try and make some pretty clever tactics come in with 5 Adepts shitting into the main base. Battery is ready there. Is he going to dive on this? In fact, he is. He should be able to eliminate every single sentry with this, but they do get split off.
You can see the force field spammed out.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good. Okay, he will get that last one, I think. Yeah, barely gets the kill on that in time.
That was expensive, though. I think herO was hoping that he can come in, snipe those sentries down, and at least be able to save a couple of those Adepts coming through, but instead all 5 Adepts getting eliminated. Second Shade will be in the cards here for herO. That Disruptor working its way across the map now. There's still a lot of units here at the front. But I'm liking Classic's position more and more here defensively. I feel like as long as he's able to avoid the big Disruptor hits, he should have a good chance of holding. That Disruptor now coming into the front. Classic, he runs away just in time. No damage coming through. Keep in mind, he has not used overcharge yet on these batteries, so...
Keep in mind as well, it's very hard for the Immortal to avoid the damage on the ground from the Disruptor. It's not a very quick unit, so the Warp Prism is going to have to be utilized there. Oh my god, the Disruptor's in the back. Okay, he snags it.
It's going to be one of those kind of funky controlling games. Oh, watch out with that Warp Prism. These Stalkers are going to try and get some damage done on it. In fact, recalling them to the main base, I like that play from Classic. He's saving a lot of energy on these Nexus to be able to make plays like that, to be able to recall and come through with the overcharge. Ooh! And that's scary for herO right now. You know, the Nexus, or not the Nexus, excuse me, the Warp Prism, it did not die, but going down to half HP, it's now getting really precarious with the Stalker count as high as it is for Classic. But let's see, Classic actually has those 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism, potentially going cross-map with that, so he's feeling pretty confident defensively. And if herO is using all of his Nexus energy on Chrono Boost to try and pump these Gateway units out, these Immortals can get a lot of damage done, but that does weaken the defense here for Classic quite a bit. Nova comes through, actually a big hit, gets 2 Adepts and I think 3 Stalkers as well. Another Nova coming through, able to find 1 Stalker, and the one-shot potential coming from herO is huge. Classic, maybe a little bit cavalier sending those 2 Immortals cross-map. He actually has to bring it back now, and this is almost a nightmare scenario. We'll see what they're able to get done on the defense. But the Stalker count, it's so high, the Stalker's even zoning out. The Warp Prism means the Immortal on the right side will get eliminated. Another Nova comes through. And Classic might have overplayed his hand a little bit there.
Yeah, well, that's herO with that control. I mean, he's just got some of the best micro in the world, and he really knew exactly where to target what. This base is going to fall. This game could very well end. I mean, it's not like it's going to end with just the Nexus going down. You can now go right up into the main here. Probes are going to be pulled. The Disruptor's out once more. This time it's going to be going for the Workers. And the Warp Prism, yeah, that's going to be it. With the Immortal being killed off, there's literally no way that you can recover.
Classic's got to be kicking himself about setting that double Immortal drop cross map. If he had those back at home defensively with the Warp Prism, the Micro, and potentially dodge Disruptor shots, this might have been a different game, but instead herO is not going to miss the opportunity. He goes for the killing blow, and he's going to be facing GuMiho in the winner's match.
It's impressive. herO knows how to win. I'm really excited to see what he's going to show us here against GuMiho. You know, GuMiho is so scary these days, but TVP is such a different matchup than TVZ, frankly. And, you know, one thing about herO is a lot of times it's the other player responding to what herO plays. herO is always engaging with you early on, so it'll be cool to see GuMiho a little bit on the defense. Classic frustrated with that loss, no doubt, but I think his opponent, Su, is manageable for him as well.
Classic's PVC seems to be in pretty good form, so it's going to be a tough battle. Su also looked really good against GuMiho, let's not forget. That'll be an interesting match, the elimination one. But once we get back from this break, Group D winners match, GuMiho versus herO. Don't go anywhere.
Anytime, any place.